Ooh, I'm the ghost of model railroads past. Let's not do that. Hey everyone, how's it going? I am stumbling my way through this one. I apologize, everyone. This is like I was going to do a video for you guys this weekend, and I lost my microphone. So I'm using this guy right here. I hope this is working for Mike. I hope it sounds okay. If not, I'll try to find the regular mic for next week. But I don't want yet another video to go, or another week to go by and you guys not have a video. It's been too long as it is. So here we are. And today, I want to talk today about making your model railroad work for you, as opposed to you working for your model railroad. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're a follower of this channel, you know that like it's been several months since I've made a video. What's happened? Well, this guy right here has happened. This little monster has come into my life, and he's grown up, and he's gotten big enough now where he can get into absolutely everything at all times. And he's just turned into a little machine, just trying everything possible to get in trouble. And he's been a handful, to say the least. And because of that, my hobby time has been cut significantly short, to the point where it's difficult for me to get any length of time sort of set aside to do any significant work on the model railroad. And so instead of doing that, I have focused on other hobbies in my life. So that got me thinking about my model railroad and what it means to what it means to me. Like, where does this model railroad sit as far as what is its place in my life at this point? Because I have in recent months just been doing other hobby things outside of model railroading. I am one of those guys that I have lots and lots of hobby interests. And model railroading is one of them. Model railroading is probably the main hobby interest, but there are other things that I really love and enjoy as well. And I find it easier to pick up those at times than it is for model railroading, because model railroading does take you have to set aside some time in order to really accomplish anything. It's difficult to 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, get a lot done. And I've mentioned in the past, like, take some time, do a little bit here and there. And I have over the last several months, but not a whole lot has been accomplished because of that. And so I've had to sort of reassess, this model railroad a little bit, and reassess this room a little bit. What do I mean by that? Well, I have brought in this shrimp tank over here. This shrimp tank is, I wanted to set up a little aquarium for a while, and this room is now my office as well as my model railroad room, so I wanted to have some friends with me as I do my work every day. And having these little shrimp, they're breeding, the plants are growing. Like, this has been a fun kind of experiment for me. And so that's in the room now. That makes model railroading trickier because they're sensitive creatures. So I'm worried about chemicals and sawdust and other things that come along with model railroading kind of affecting them negatively. So luckily my layout is in a point now where a lot of that stuff I don't need to necessarily worry about, but I may have to consider like doing stuff outside of this room and then bringing it in as far as keeping some of the dangerous things away from those creatures. Another thing that I did was I decided to bring all the rest of my hobby interests into this room as well. Originally, this room was just going to be just the model railroad. And what that was going to do was going to allow me to focus on the layouts, focus on model railroading, and keep all my other hobby interests at bay. However, my other hobby interests creep in anyway. And so I decided to do this. I built this kind of like long 16-foot section that has these Sterilite, wheel drawer things. I've got like 36 drawers in here, so full of aquarium parts and Lego pieces and board games and all sorts of things. And on top of that, I've got, a place where I can, a little shelf place here, and a place where I can display my models. And it's cool. Now this room is more my man cave as opposed to just my model railroad. So all of my hobby interests can be in here at the same time, and it's enjoyable and it's cool. I'm a little disappointed that this is not, the clean, sort of pristine model railroad room that I wanted it to be. But maybe 20 years from now, when my kids move out, I can take the den back over again, and that can become sort of my man cave. And this could be exclusively the model railroad room. That's 20 years off. We will see what happens when that comes along. But as it's easier for me to like get down here and spend like 5 minutes kind of working on a Lego kit, or in the evening when I kind of just want to unwind, maybe paint some board game minis as opposed to like trying to tackle a large scenery project on a model railroad. It's just easier for me to do that. And so I have got to embrace the fact that I'm sharing my model railroad, I'm sharing my hobby interest with other things. And so getting back to this idea, I'm wandering and I apologize, but getting back to this idea of making your model railroad work for you as opposed to the other way around is finding that spot where the hobby, it fits comfortably into your life, and don't become a slave to your hobby. Don't get to the point where it's like, ugh, I've got so much stuff I got to do in the hobby. I want to do the other things that I find interesting, but I told myself I'd work on this model railroad. Don't let yourself get to that point, because then you'll start to hate model railroading, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to get to the point where you dislike a hobby. That makes you want to get out. Find a way to make that hobby fit into your lifestyle. And that brings me to what it is I'm doing with the model railroad itself. I am going to change the scope a little bit of what I want to do with this model railroad. I'm to the point now where I've got all the benchwork in place, all the track laid down, and 90% of the wiring done. So it's essentially a fully functioning model railroad for the most part. Now we're on to scenery and all the kind of fun stuff. And lighting and all sorts of other things that have to happen to this room. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of working on the entire sort of layout all at one time, I'm going to focus my attention. And I'm going to take a cue from a couple of YouTubers that I enjoy very much, Railfan220 and BA Rail Systems. They both have larger layouts, and they have chosen to sort of focus working on scenery in like one section at a time. So for me, it's going to be this section right here. This is Sandpoint, Idaho. This is like sort of like the busiest part of the layout. This is the transfer yard for the Midland Falls Railroad, and the Burlington Northern and Union Pacific kind of gets involved here as well. So lots of trains rolling through here, lots of dramatic scenery, lots of dramatic railroad action. The scenery is pretty simple. It's not huge mountains and rivers and that kind of thing. There is some modeling work here, but it's fairly simple and straightforward as well. So I have those areas on my layout. We're going to tackle those in the years to come. But for now, I'm going to stick to this kind of like yard scene here and get this looking really, really good, so that I have some great video that I can shoot in here, so I can take some nice photos. And I can start to produce scenery videos and get those out to you. So that's how I'm just kind of making this layout work for me. I'm treating it more like, in some ways, a smaller model railroad at this point, where I'm not tackling the whole thing. I'm tackling just a small section of that thing. And I think that for now, as I'm raising my son, and he's getting out of his sort of crazy years, and as he begins to become a little easier to handle, I'll have more time to dedicate to some of the larger model railroad projects. That's in the years to come. But for now, this is what we're doing here. So that's it. Yeah, I mean, make sure your model railroad just fits your life, and don't become a slave to it, right? Find ways to integrate it into your life, whether that is, bringing the other things in your life into your model railroad space, or just limiting what it is you want to do on your mountain road at any given time in order to sort of keep it from becoming a job and keep it a fun hobby. So that's about all I wanted to say as far as that goes in this video. As far as this channel, what's going to happen here, summers are difficult for me to get content done for you guys just because, the weekends come around and I've got yard work to do, or, and the kids are off, and so, you need to spend time with your kids and keep them busy and have fun with them. So I don't know we're going to get much in the way of videos this summer, but as I get into the fall and the winter time, and that's when a lot of people get, their motorboating time of year is generally fall and winter when you can't be outside. We're going to see those scenery videos for Sandpoint, Idaho, pardon me, start to come out. So I'm looking forward to putting those videos together. Thanks for putting up with me this time. Thanks for staying subscribed over these months when I had been kind of away from the layout. If you're a motorboater, you understand how it is. So, the hobby ebbs and flows occasionally as life gets in the way. And, success in the hobby is really about finding a way to navigate through those rough times and to make it work for you. So that's about it. Thanks for checking out this video, and I will see everyone in another one. This is really cool.